When I am calling Israelis white people, I mean it. When I'm saying that they're not really Jewish, I mean it. Am I a Jew? No. Am I an authority on the matter? Not in the slightest. But the thing of it is that Zionists have proven themselves to be untrustworthy. They have been lying and doing heinous shit even before World War II. They have been lying and doing the most for hundreds of years. And you expect me to believe that you expect me to take their word on it when they say that they're Jews?
Okay, so this comment is so laughably inaccurate that I just have to make a reply video to it because it's really hysterical. The first thing it says is that Zionists are white. Well, Zionism has nothing to do with the pigmentation of your skin. And if you're focusing on the pigmentation of your skin and you're trying to create a lot of, stigma around that based on skin color, that'd make you a hypocrite based on what I assume is your political agenda, right? The second thing here is that you said it has nothing to do with being Jewish, and well, within the Torah, there's this deep tie to the land of Israel, so much so that if you removed Israel from the Jewish identity, you would not be Jewish anymore. That's just how we operate. Also, we're an ethno-religion, which means that it's all about genetics coming from our matriarchal side, and that matriarchal lineage actually dates all the way back to when we were in the Middle East, which means that Jews are not white. Jews have never been white. We're actually Middle Eastern. And the reason why our pigmentation looks so different and why you can't help but focus on our pigmentation is because of this little thing called the diaspora, where we were kicked out of Israel and we were spread across the world. And naturally, we end up taking on different pigmentations, especially as we started to get more involved in other ethnicities out there. So that will happen, is that we'll have mixed genes, and some of us will be paler than others, but guess what? We're not white. The last thing is that you said it's not about being Jewish. I think that's what you meant anyway. And the reality is that most Jews are Zionists. And the few that aren't, the gaslit Jews, the ones that call themselves anti-Zionist, they're not really anti-Zionist Jews. They're just gaslit Jews, okay? We need to normalize that.
Something extraordinary is shaking the internet and religious conversation in America today. Across social media, people are talking about a topic that has been controversial for centuries. Who are the chosen people of God? And now, many observers claim that Black Americans are being recognized as the true descendants of the biblical Israelites, a claim that is reportedly causing outrage among the Ashkenazi Jews and segments of white Americans. Some reactions online are extreme, some are furious, and others are confused or shocked. So, what's really going on? Why is this debate reigniting? And why is it making some people go nuts online? Let's break it down.
Any Jewish ancestry they may have had to have been ruined when they actively participated in the killing of Jews in World War II and in Palestine when they have done everything they can to kill Palestinian Jews and to eradicate that word from existence. They themselves have said that they are a political movement. I mean, hell, their founder was an atheist. I'm saying they have lied for so often and for so long. Do you really expect me to take their word on that? And hell, let's just say they are actually a part of the diaspora. There's no way they should still be included after everything that they've done to other Jews in World War II and in Palestine. There's no way. Not to mention that their actions have given validation to neo-Nazis who can now use their actions as, see, we tried to warn you, we told you that Jews were bad, which gives cause to an increase in anti-Semitism in the world. There's no way Zionists are Jews. There's no way they count. And again, but you know what? I recognize that I'm not an authority figure on this. I recognize that I'm not a part of the diaspora, and so I don't really have any real say in this. I understand that. I don't care. I don't care because I do not respect I do not respect Israelis. I do not respect Zionists. My lack of trust towards Zionists is so high that I'm willing to go the extra mile to be antagonistic towards them, to say out of pocket shit. I do not respect people who commit genocide. I do not respect people who arrest children. I don't respect people who rape children. I do not respect people who kill them and torture them and bomb them and brag about it on social media and then lie about it here in the States. I don't respect people like that. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a bunch of white people. I mean, hell, if you are part of the diaspora, you're certainly not Semitic. Anytime anyone asks you where you're from, it's Brooklyn or some spot in Europe. Like, can we please be fucking for real? So, yeah, I don't care how disrespectful I sound because I don't respect people who kill kids. I don't care how offensive I come off to you. Matter of fact, I wrote a whole song about it and it's pinned to the top of my page. Bring all your friends. Back when I was more active in church, we had a name for people like you. Sons of perdition. In the Bible, it predicts the Lord cutting off wicked branches, sour grapes, wicked branches of Israel, cutting them off and casting them into the fire before they poison the whole tree. Seems to me that Israel, well, specifically the Zionists, are a fitting description. Sons of perdition. That's you.
I psych our world, but black people is the real Jews.
Okay, so go.
Do you know black people?
Go start wearing tzitzis. Start wearing tzitzis. Go follow the Bible. Start doing what the Bible says.
Do that.
If you say that you're Jewish, start doing what the Bible says.
Black people is the real Jews.
So very good. Start following the Bible.
Why you want to steal the swing on me or something? Read how I mean, man.
Of Israel is with the young generation of the black community.
I'm glad you brought this up because even Israel know that we not playing no more. Even Israel know that we awake. How we their biggest threat? Black American youth. And y'all think they gonna be on y'all side? Have y'all ever seen a TV show Blackish? Or just the ish? If something got an ish on it, like it's brightish or it's reddish, that means it's not completely what it's supposed to be. So when you bring up Jewish, I mean, it's in its name itself. I can't even say Wakanda. Because Wakanda. No, I'm just playing. But, yeah. Daytime is up as well. Sorry. Daytime is up as well. And they know it. Like, we're not playing no more. They know who the real chosen people of God is. The ones that been in America fighting for you to be able to even be here. Anyways.
Now, I wonder why Israel's biggest problem is the young generation of the black community when we're all the way over here.
Of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varnai Shorer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this. Not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
You know, why would we be the biggest threat? Wouldn't the biggest threat be the people you're actually in war with? What do we have to do with anything y'all got going on? Could it be that the conspiracies about identity theft are true? Perhaps. Because I doubt that, a lie would be a big threat to an entire country. I don't think a lie would. But what I think is the biggest threat is that the truth is being revealed and the world knows that. Time's up.
Get this straight, everybody. The people running Israel are not Semites. Let's just start with that. They're Ashkenazi Jews from northeastern parts beyond Turkey.
By that logic, the black people in America are not black. And the Hispanic people in America are not Hispanic. And my friend who moved to China, he's now Chinese. Yeah, he's not American. No. He's not Caucasian. He's now Asian. Do you know that if a German person and a Jewish person living in Germany, and they could trace their ancestors back the same amount of generations in Germany, for the Jew, it'll come back Ashkenazi Jewish, and for the Gentile, it'll come back German. Why? Why doesn't it come back German for the Jew? It doesn't. Because the self-reporting the DNA says something. This is DNA that is not the same as all the other German people. The same thing with Ukraine. The same thing with Poland. A Polish person will get Polish, but the Jew will get Ashkenazi Jew. Why? Ashkenazi Jew is not a place. Actually, it's an ethnicity that traces back to where? The Semites, the Levant, to Judea. Because that's where we're from Judea.
last one. You have plenty of YT folks who know that they don't stand a chance in hell if they don't cleave and accept black people as the real people.
So a lot of people have been posting their DNA tests, and it shows that a big chunk of their DNA is Ashkenazi Jewish, which is beautiful. And then I checked the comments, and it says, well, what? You missed the exit to the library because you didn't read a book? Let's talk about it. So to be an Ashkenazi Jew means you're an ethnic group from the Middle East, from Judea, and you were forced into exile into places like Europe. And in Europe, it wasn't so fun for the Jews. We never lived in equality in the white European world, from the legal marginalization to the Shoah, to the Holocaust. We were never Europeans, and we were never treated as such. And this is to the extent that even centuries later, Jews were so genetically isolated that even now I can take a blood test, an Ashkenazi Jew is going to show up. Also, isn't it a bit odd that people are only denying Jews of their peoplehood after the rebirth of Israel, their homeland? Jews are finally strong and they have their homeland back. And people are desperate to find a reason to make Jews weak again.
Video of the Israeli government holding a private convention here in the United States. One of the people in attendance at this secret meeting was Judith Varnai Shorer. She's a former Israeli consul general who was operating out of Atlanta. She was one of the main people saying that the biggest problem that they had was young black people in the United States. But don't worry, they've got some black leaders on the payroll.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. The problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black is with the young generation of the black community.
This was an Israeli government official who was saying this, not some low-level operative or some rogue member of their diplomatic corps. This was a senior member of their administrative government who was saying this on American soil. Their biggest problem wasn't Hamas or Hezbollah or the Palestinian Authority or Syria or even Iran. She said that Israel's biggest problem was young black people in the United States.
At the heart of this controversy is a theological argument. Some scholars, historians, and religious leaders assert that black people are the descendants of the ancient Israelites, sometimes referred to as the Hebrew Israelites or true Israel. This idea has been embraced by several religious movements within black communities who study biblical texts and historical records to trace their lineage back to the Israelites. Supporters say this recognition validates centuries of resilience, spiritual heritage, and cultural identity that have often been marginalized in mainstream narratives. For centuries, mainstream interpretations, often dominated by Ashkenazi Jewish scholars and European religious authorities, taught that the Jewish people of Europe were the sole heirs of biblical Israel. This claim challenges long-held religious assumptions and, for some, the established understanding of scriptures itself. As news spread online, reactions have been intense. From some white communities, questions about historical and religious authority, social media posts expressing anger and confusion. And from some Ashkenazi Jews, they claim that religious tradition and history are being misrepresented. These reactions are amplified by social media algorithms, creating viral threads, debates, and sometimes heated arguments. To understand the intensity, you need history. For centuries, black people were systematically marginalized, enslaved, and excluded from religious narratives that dominated Western society. During that same period, Europeans' interpretations of Judaism were controlled mostly by Ashkenazi Jews, those whose ancestors lived in Central and Eastern Europe. These interpretations became the dominant narratives in Western religious thoughts. Now, movements that assert black Americans as the true descendants of Israel directly challenges centuries of established religious authority, which is why some people react so strongly. So why is this conversation exploding in 2026? Number 1, social media amplification. Platforms allow ideas that were once niche to reach millions in seconds. Number 2, Black cultural empowerment. Communities are reclaiming their spiritual, historical, and biblical narratives. The third one, global religious conversation. People are questioning traditional interpretations of scripture. And as a result, discussions that were once academic or theological now feels personal and emotional to many people online. This debate is not just about religious claims. It touches on identity, history, power, and recognition. For Black Americans, claiming a biblical heritage is a source of pride and spiritual affirmation. For some Ashkenazi Jews and white communities, it challenges long-held religious and cultural authority. For everyone else, it raises questions about how history, scripture, and identity intersect in the modern world. It is no wonder emotions are running high. At its core, this debate is about who controls narratives, who decides history, who interprets scripture, and who gets to define chosen or holy. Rather than dismissing these conversations outright, we can see them as a moment for reflection about spirituality and cultural identity, and about how marginalized communities reclaim narratives that were denied to them for centuries. Even in Some People Go Nuts online, these discussions reveal deep questions about faith, identity, and power. Questions humanity has wrestled with for centuries. So, the debate over who is truly the chosen people of God has gone viral. Some are outraged, some are celebrating, and some are just watching, fascinated by the clash of history, faith, and identity. But one thing is certain. These conversations are not going away anytime soon. Whether you see it as a theological discussion, a cultural affirmation, or a viral internet debate, this moment is forcing America and the world to rethink what we believe about history, faith, and identity. Thank you for watching. This is Mercy Realities.